Get up now. There's work to be done.
Mother?
I ain't your ma, laddie. Oh, may all the saints be praised. I was afraid you'd never wake up again.
What? Where am I?
Where would you be? Here in my cabin, where you and that pal of yours burst in last night. Slowly, lad. Slowly.
What happened? What about Hans?
He's taken care of for now, but he was on the edge there for a bit. And so were you, lad, so calm yourself. Last night you were 1 foot in the grave already. You were lucky you happened to turn up here.
Well, I have to talk to Hans.
You won't get much out of him now. He's lost a lot of blood and he has a fever.
What happened to him?
That cutthroat that followed you fellas cut him up bad. Hans was fighting him outside, then he came staggering in, said something about Fortuna, and collapsed on the floor.
And what about that cutthroat?
You can go out and have a look at him. Hans gave him a right hammering. I didn't get a wink of sleep with that corpse in my yard.
I understand. I'm sorry we caused you such trouble. But you'll save Hans, won't you?
God willing. Well, I managed to pull you out of death's grip, so maybe I'll be blessed again. I'll go check on him as soon as I'm done with you. How are you feeling?
There's no part of me that doesn't hurt. Inside and out. Mostly my shoulder where I took an arrow.
Little wonder then. But you're conscious and talking. That's a good sign. Ah, your shoulder is looking a lot better. I did my best, but I don't see good no more, especially at night. So I didn't do the best job. It just wouldn't stop bleeding. And now you've moved about, it started up again. Take this and bandage it up. Not much else we can do with it now.
Thanks. I reckon I can manage that. But I need to get a breath of fresh air to clear my head.
You slept through half of God's bright day, lad. So, if you feel up to it, go ahead. At least we'll see how steady you are on your feet. While you're at it, you can stop by the trough and wash all that nasty grime off of yourself. I found an old tunic. Put it on so you don't catch a chill. It gets cold here by the water. No doubt you'll be famished and need a bite to eat. There's some hot soup in the pot on the fire. If that ain't enough, I put some bread and cheese on the table outside for you. And you'll find some of our home-brewed liquor there, too, in case you need bucking up. Don't overdo it, though.
I won't. Thanks a lot. May God reward you 1,000-fold. What's your name, by the way?
Pushena's my name.
Well, I'm Henry.
I know. Hans told me. I'll go and check on him. When you're done with everything, come and see me and we'll figure out what to do next.
Okay, so we saw the little intro scene, and now Prokop will tell us about how we actually continue from KCD 1 to KCD 2 and what these strange red...
I think most of you recognize that there were some flashbacks to KCD 1. So this is actually not the first quest you will encounter in KCD 2. This is like a few moments later. So we are really trying hard to make you feel at home, even if you didn't play the first game. It's completely fine to go into the KCD2 just blind. And we're trying to like slowly here and there to tell you some facts and what happened in KCD1, so you don't feel overwhelmed at the beginning. So there's some good gameplay chunk first, so you feel right at home. And basically, what you see now on the screen is another thing we were really like, thinking about how to do and what to do with RPG in general in KCD2. And what we decided upon is that we didn't want to reset your Henry completely. So there will be...
Reset your Henry.
Yeah. So we really just, something happened. You kind of could guess what happened. So your stats will be lowered, but you will still have your preferences, and you would be able to have a different Henry even at the beginning of the game. And we also raised the max level considerably. So, you were really good at, the Ratai region in KCD1, but now you are a way bigger regions. There's a more important region with much better fighters. So you can achieve even more levels and perks. And actually, all of the perks are new and they're much more impactful, actually.
I sometimes compare it like Henry in KCD1. I mean, most of the time when he was dealing with problems, it was like either some bandits in the forest or some lower nobility or something like that. And I sometimes say that Henry in KCD1 was something like the champion of the Sunday League. And now in KCD2, he's invited to play in the Premier League. So he knows how to play football. However, the challenges are bigger, the enemies are harder,
Definitely.
and now in KCD2 you are being dragged among armies, and there will be kings involved, and the drama and the
Emperors.
the emperors even. Yeah. So the whole setting, the stages are higher. There's more on stake. And I think that is quite interesting. And for those who didn't recognize the first scenes, the red thing, right? That was exactly as Prokop said. That was something like flashbacks. So it was actually actual scenes from KCD1. And this is the way how we try to implement it. So we never like fist in your face. Watch this video for 20 minutes and then you can start to play the game. No. The way how we think about it is, as Prokop explained already slightly, while you are playing the game, slowly but steadily, we will give you the bare necessary information. This is you, that's your friend, that's a letter, you have to bring it to that castle. This happened. Good luck, have fun. And that is pretty much everything that is important for you. Other than that, it's really the open... Bohemia 1403, the open world is waiting for you and you can just freely roam.
And a lot of that is
the
actually
country.
optional. If you want to delve deep, you can ask people what happened, their opinion about that, but you don't have to. You can just, rush right through what you love about the game, and if it's just, wandering around and killing bandits, good for you.
Mm-hmm. Talking about stats, so let me go through this quickly. Game saved, and let's open up first of all. Look at this wonderful hut we are in here. It's a herb woman's hut, which we can obviously see here, and she's a fan of smoked chicken, I guess. But let's open the inventory real quick, and since we are here already, let's check some of the stats.
Yeah.
It's the one that these are pretty much the ones you already know from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, but you can see that there are already some levels attached to them. And we can also see here in the skills that Henry knows already something, but as Prokop said, we have to hone his skills now even further, right?
As you can see, there's some of the skills are completely new. There's 9 general skills. There's then 6 combat skills. You can see, for example, maybe a little tidbit, pole arms are now a completely usable weapons. You can stash them in your inventory. You can change to you can just pick up a pole arm in the middle of the combat, which with its own perks and everything, the same as the marksmanship. It now has all the perks and everything, way more than in KCD1 and definitely more impactful.
Yeah, and one common question we get quite often is like, how does it behave with the combat? And of course here, if you check, Henry, of course, is able to use a few tricks already. Riposte, perfect block, feint, evade. So the combat got an overhaul, of course. So it plays different, it feels different, while it stays very true to its nature. I think for KCD1 lovers, they will feel right at home, but meanwhile we are trying to make it a little bit more like accessible, maybe, not dumping it down. However, since, as I said, Henry already got his fair share of combat in KCD1, he of course needs to know the bare minimum. However, he will of course hone his skills even further. And then we have also the combos, of course. So for the different weapons. And there's even one of my favorite ones. I mentioned that already in the first stream, but even unarmed combat get an overhaul. So you can actually, with a few tricks and combos, you can disarm your opponent, which is pretty cool. And which is nice. And
you can actually, there's like you can go to the clinch and to like basically a brawl, and you can also, like, if you're good enough, you can just, from the unarmed combat, you can go immediately to stealth skill. So it's hard, but it's doable.
Okay, but we are still bleeding and we stink. So
you are a hungry boy.
And hungry Henry, of course, stamina is decreased. I can't do anything with the reekiness right now. We can wash ourselves, but not while sitting on the bed. However, if going to the inventory and taking some bandages, I will of course be able to at least take care of my wounds. That's done, and to not run around naked, I will put on this wonderful short tunic.
What a nice looking boy.
What a nice looking boy, exactly. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I think our environment and graphic designers are really did the extra miles again, and today will be more of a hiking trip. As I said, we are going through the countryside of Trotsky Castle, but first we are hungry and we have to get up, and hungry Henry needs to eat something.
Yay.
So,
food on the spoon.
Food on the spoon. That is actually something that you were fighting for a lot.
Yeah, it's just such a tiny thing, but the level of polish in the game is just the sum of these tiny things that, and hopefully we did a lot of them. So yeah.
Yeah, I think generally KCD is a lot about the details, and I know that many gamers probably won't nerd about the fact that there's food on the spoon, but still for us that's a huge thing. And again, it all plays into this immersion thing, because at the end we are trying very hard to have KCD, or to make KCD one of the most, maybe the most immersive video game there is out there. So and again, it's the tiny thing. Actually, if you don't realize that something is wrong, and you don't realize anything pretty much, then that's mission accomplished, because if you feel it at home, then that's exactly what we are trying to.
And as we were saying,
achieve.
there's a lot of like little things you can do, even like a feature-wise, but we are not trying to pressure you into doing that. There's like ton of mini games and ton of gameplay styles and everything, but we're completely fine. We don't want to like force you into anything. The game is full of things and activities you can do, but if you want, that's fine. Just enjoy your gameplay style. There's many of those.
And again, a little disclaimer. So this build is a tiny little bit older, but not too old, so don't worry. However, where we are right now in development is that we are in a very, very heavy polish and bug fixing stage. So you will encounter probably a few visual bugs here and there, but I personally am extremely, extremely happy with how the game develops and how in what a wonderful state it is right now. So just so you know that there will be eventually some wonkiness here and there, but I think that shouldn't hinder us from enjoying this wonderful piece. So let's continue a tiny little bit with the quest. So Hans is here on the ground. Bojana wants us to wash ourselves and eat something. That is what we did. But we will check on our friend
Hans,
Hans.
can you hear me, friend? Christ. In the end, you bore the brunt for both of us. May all the saints watch over you. And over Bojana, too.
And sometimes Henry is even a faithful Christian.
And the Holy Virgin and all. Better pray you have
Pray for
someone
him.
up
It
there
might help him.
looking out
Maybe.
for you.
God Almighty,
Everything that helps our
look
best
down
friend
on
here.
a poor
Yeah,
sinner.
there's actually
Hear my heartfelt prayer.
here it's just a
Protect their hands.
quest thing,
Don't let him
but
die.
there's actually
Just as
places
he
in the
didn't let
map
me
that you
die.
can pray
Preserve his life.
in, and there's a specific
Because he
perk,
loved gently.
in, I think it's scholarship
Brave
skill,
and just,
that will
a
give
good
you like
Christian.
boosts for
And
a
look
day
down
or
on
two
Virginia
when
too.
you're a good
Let
Christian.
her save their hands and deliver her from all
Henry
evil.
has some dirty nails. We need to wash ourselves.
Ah,
Absolutely.
you should.
Absolutely.
It's a shame,
Didn't turn us
Shameful.
away in our
Yeah.
hour of
Shameful
need.
Henry.
Amen.
and it actually lowers your stats. It lowers your charisma when you're dirty. It's harder to persuade people. So yeah, definitely do that.
Like in real life. Dirty nails, guys out there.
Yeah,
Cut your nails, please.
do something.
Do something. Okay, let's rob her clean first.
Yeah,
Of
like
course.
classic RPG
Classic
players
RPG, let's
steal
check.
everything.
That looks so good. I mean, I'm here getting crazy about our own game, but dude, I think the difference between KCD1 and KCD2 is really huge. And sometimes it doesn't look like that. If you look at this right now and say, hey, this looks a lot like KCD1, try and compare them one-to-one in some videos. You will see that it's like so differently, and your memory might deceive you a tiny little bit. But yeah, we went. Look at that. So she has her hut here in this sandstone block.
And you will see
carved.
more of that outside. But let's
Yeah.
see if you'll steal other. Of course you will.
Of
I know
course.
you, Toby.
Of course. I don't even bother to go into stealth. Oh, maybe I should, just in case. So, what do we have here? Piercing arrows. Give it to me. I like a lot this new thing that you have the not only the name of the item, but also the value
Yeah.
and everything. That's
You can check the stats and just
Yeah.
decide if it's like good enough to pick even.
of course.
Yeah, you will.
Everything.
I know you will pick everything.
I will
You will just
take everything that isn't nailed to the ground. So
You don't
look
have
at it.
lockpicks, man. You can't steal this yet. You'll have to come back to
Yeah.
later.
Lucky you. So okay, what's else here? Look at this here, tailor kit.
Yeah, and you
Give
can
me-
actually, well, maybe let's wait a little bit later, but you can use it in this quest.
Oh, so let's use it then. Okay. No more stealth mode. Thank you, Bojena, for patching us up, and I stole everything you had. So, let's go outside and check
Oh, man.
this. So,
I really like this scene.
yeah. So from the little cutscene we saw in the beginning, we saw this dead guy here. I hope the dog is not eating him, just sniffing. But this is the dude that that was following Henry and Hans to this place, and Hans was fighting him, but got terribly wounded, as you could see.
But he did kill him.
But he did kill this particular fellow, and I will. Oh, look, there's a little piggy there.
Yeah, it's hers.
Wonderful.
It's Boar.
Boar. But first of all, for those out there who don't know, this is a floppy disk. And floppy disk is something that I was sharing in school back in the days with funny stuff on it. But for us, it's the Savior Schnapps, which we will use. That's a very common question, by the way,
Yeah.
the saving. We want to talk about that
Sure.
for a second?
It's you can actually use it right now, or maybe wash yourself first.
Okay.
You don't want to have save when you're dirty.
Sure.
But yeah, and you can even this is like little. It's actually nice.
Yeah, and the hands are clean now.
Yeah.
So are his nails.
So you can save your game now, I'd say. Yeah. So the system is very similar to what we had in KCD1, meaning there's autosaves in quests. There's actually quite a lot more in KCD2 than it was in KCD1. So you should be pretty safe even when you don't use the savior schnapps. But we still want to, like, the immersion is so important for us that we want you to, when you're trying, like deciding, should I try to rob this place or should I attack this bandit camp? There should be always some element of like fear or decision making, because you can't just abuse saving mechanism. There's no quick save. So if you want to like just try something, you'll have to use the savior schnapps, and yeah, you will have to either find it or brew it in alchemy or buy it.
But you get tipsy from it.
Yes,
So
yes.
Here you go, drunkenness.
And it's another thing, it shows the depth of our systems. Even just a simple mechanic as a drunkenness, there's associated skill with drunkenness, and there's perks. It can help you in various situations, but be careful. It's not good to drink too much, because there's like a positive state of drunkenness, there's a negative state of drunkenness.
There's a negative state of drunkenness. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Never heard
you
of
don't
that.
remember your negative states. I do remember them.
Okay.
But yeah, there's also like hangovers, and you can also get addicted to alcohol. And also there's like maybe just a little tiny thing, but I think it shows how deep the game is. If you get really drunk, you'll pass out.
Oy, oy.
And if you pass out somewhere where people don't like you,
Oy, oy.
they might steal your stuff. So if you wake up, and they will actually wear them. You might wake up and see some guy wearing your, hat or boots or something like that.
It's like in this movie, I don't know how it's called in English, Prince from Zamunda or something, and they're like coming to the United States and got robbed and everything, and the other day they find the guys outside trying to sell their...
Yeah, I think I saw
So,
that. Yeah.
Okay, we washed ourselves and we ate something.
And you didn't faint while doing it. I'm pleased, Henry. I had to pour a whole Lethean potion into you last night. That's what I call medicine. It can either put a dead man back on his feet or make sure he never gets up again. So consider yourself lucky.
I will. But what about Capon?
Well, he's less lucky. That brute really knocked him about before Hans beat the life out of him.
Is there any way I can help? I owe it to Capon, and I want to do whatever
Show
I
yourself
can.
to Bojana. Here I am, Bojana.
All right. I've got a bit of that Lethean potion.
Actually, the Lethean potion is a potion from KCD1. It's in KCD2 as well, and it resets your perks if you want to like change your...
First, we have to
it's
deal
like the
with
little
that fever.
inside
The
joke.
best and fastest remedy for that is chamomile decoction. Luckily, it ain't too hard to brew, but we'll need some fresh sage for it. And, of course, chamomile. You ought to be able to manage that. You've got young legs and eyes, and I reckon a bit of a stroll would do you good.
Easy as pie. I can do that. Sage has a purple blossom, and chamomile has white petals with a yellow center. Both of them grow in sunny places. There are sandstone cliffs around here. The soil underneath might suit them.
Good lad. You really do know a thing or two. I'd never have guessed. At the back of the hut, there's a footpath leading up to the rocks. You go along there till you reach a sort of small meadow. You ought to find both of them there.
Great. I'll be back in a jiffy with a couple of handfuls.
All right. I'll be glad if you get back here soon. I don't feel right being here with that corpse in my yard. Seeing him lying there gives me chills. I can't think straight.
I understand. It makes me anxious too.
So she wants us to
Maybe
bury
I
that
could
dead
manage to
guy,
bury him somewhere,
but
or at least
we
hide him
won't.
somewhere further off in the woods.
and we tell you why
Oh,
later.
Lord be
Yeah,
praised.
soon.
Soon.
I'm truly glad of that.
And I
You
see
feel
some
up to it,
people
laddie.
in the chat were
You
like
ain't in the
mentioning our
best of
facial
shape,
animations, and I
and
think
digging a
yeah,
grave's a tough
a lot of
job,
work were
even for
put
a
into
healthy
them. So
fella.
I really feel they're way better, obviously, than in KCD1.
Not to
But
worry.
also, if you saw some
I'll
of
see
the
what I
older
can manage.
builds on Gamescom or
It's only
anywhere, I
kind of
think
us that
even
he's
in the
here
last
anyway.
push
I wouldn't want you to have
really
any more
polish the
trouble.
game, they got improved as well.
And a bit of effort, even if it's a dirty job, is the least I owe you.
Well, if you think you can manage it, good. But don't overstrain yourself. And thanks.
Where should I put him?
Grab the spade by the dung pile and bury him by the creek. The soil will be softer there, so it should be easier. When you head out the gate, follow your nose. Find a good spot somewhere in the reeds and nettles. And when you're done with that, better have a wash, so's you don't have the stench of death on you.
True.
The stench of death.
Bear that in mind.
I'll sort out the rest with Ignatius, the gravedigger, when he comes by again, so's I don't have that wretch lying here till Judgment Day.
All right. I'll get to it. Oh, I'm so
You're going
hungry
to
I could
need
eat a
all the
horse.
saints watching over you.
He's hungry again. Henry is a hungry boy.
Of course. I have just the right idea.
And I think I know what you want to do.
So, cheeky.
Yeah, there's a boar, but I don't think you can kill him now. I'll have to find the chickens, but they will be here like later on.
Cheeky. Lucky them. Anyway, the facial animations.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good now.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan, not only of the animation, but also of the entire look of Bozhena. I think she looks just like a very friendly, very nice granny. But yeah, so she wanted us to get rid of this fellow here, which we will not do at this moment, and we will tell you later why. So let's continue with the little quest. So she sent us to go up here to pick a few flowers. So let's check where we are actually, right? At the first map, as I told you. So this is the, let's say, smaller map of the two that we have prepared for KCD 2. And it's a more, let's say, countryside map. We will show you a little bit further later, I mean. But right now we are here. Take the spade. I don't want to do that yet. But pick chamomile and sage.
Yes. And as you can see, actually, the first map is really, I really like that there's like a different biomes. So there you have the lakes and ponds, you have the sandstone, rocks, formations, you have vast farms. It's like a really deep forest. So I really like there's like an opportunity to hide all those little secrets all over the map, or quests, or interesting people to talk to.
Different biomes. So we have a mountain map and a snow map. And
no. It's still in Bohemia. So, but and as you can see, I am really proud about the forests we can make. Yeah. And this is not a deep forest. This is like close to the Bozhena, so it's not really a deep forest. But it looks
I like also
so good.
The verticality, right? That it's not only like flat place, but that it really goes steep uphill, and that there's really quite some stuff. And again, we took a lot of inspiration, of course, of the real area. So these places really exist. I'm not sure if Bozhena still has a hut down there, but theoretically you can try and find this place in real life, and that's, I think, quite interesting. Do you see him?
Rabbit, yes.
Lucky him, I don't have a bow. I would miss him anyway, but I can
You
throw.
can try, but I don't think you can kill him with a stone, but you will never hit him. Yeah.
Come on. Oh God, I can already see Peter reacting tomorrow. Warhorse attacking,
It's
throwing
actually
stones.
new mechanic in KCD 2, and it's obviously most useful in stealth to lure people away. But you're evil, man. You want to hit him with a stone, don't you?
I'm so bad.
I think he'll hear you when you're close. Yeah. But we really liked it, and we really wanted to allow Henry to do it even when he's not near enemies. So there's like complete variants of barks and like these little sayings, or even a crime when you're like hitting somebody with a rock throw. And it's really funny, actually. They talk to you like you're just some, what the hell you're doing.
That's what I liked a lot on KCD1 already, that when you were crouching around the city somewhere, they were asking you, like, do you have to go to the toilet or something? Is something wrong with you? So it's like the world is really reacting to you, and I think that is, again, defines Kingdom Come Deliverance a lot, that whatever you do in the game will have an impact, and that's what we are trying to show you a little bit today as well, that sometimes the decisions you do and sometimes the stuff you decide can be really tiny, just some different dialogues or whatever, but sometimes it can really have also bigger impacts, and in the worst case it can even lead to death of certain characters.
Yes.
So that is really big, but I strongly believe, and that is the underlying thing and very important for you to understand, there is no real right and wrong. So I strongly believe that even if, let's say, you decide somehow that someone dies or whatever, that's not a wrong decision or a bad decision per se. It's just the way how you tell your story, or how you, Henry, goes through this, part of
choices
history.
And consequences. We really, especially as designers, we really like those old school RPGs when you can really do anything you want. There's a lot of decisions, a lot of consequences, and a lot of approaches to every situation. This is actually, it's just such a little thing, but it's quite interesting. This is like a little pagan thing, but obviously Bohemia in the 15th century was already heavily Christianized. But people many times people think that when somebody is Christianized, when a country is Christianized, suddenly everything that was before is forgotten and everybody is like the Christian as we know them today. And it's not true. Actually, the Christianization was like a process that took a long time, and also those like cultures mixed together. So even people in these ages would think about themselves as Christians, but they would still have these superstitions, and they would like kind of mix the beliefs of Christianity back to some rituals they did. They will use like parts of Christianity, and also they would carry some paganism with them into Christianity. And it's like a mixture. It's very, very interesting topic. There's some of that in game, but it's also like, you know, you can spend hours on Wikipedia to learn about it, or even in much more, you know.
All this talks about Christianity made me tired, so
let's go back. Sorry, I'm lover of history, so
barefoot.
It's important.
But
to me
look
to
at
have it
that
correctly.
there.
Yes.
The magic, the wizard tower.
Yes. Well, almost.
Almost.
This is actually Trotsky Castle. It's in the middle of the Trotsky region. Not very surprising, and I will not give you any spoilers, but very important things for the story will happen there. And basically, for a big part of the story, you're trying to get there. And the castle is on a hill, obviously. It's like the smart thing to do. And you can actually see it from every part of the map. So it's kind of taunts you, and you know you will have to overcome it and get there.
And for those who played KCD1 and saw the end of KCD1, then your initial quest is, or the KCD1 ended in a way that the lords were sitting together writing that letter that you and Hans and his entourage of soldiers were supposed to bring to that castle up there. But how we ended up here in this hut in this forest and not in this castle, that is something that you will then experience in the game, but it's quite dramatic, and I think it will be.
And it's a real thing. It's a real castle. You can still go there even now. It's it's not in a good shape. It's like it's a ruin now, or partly it's ruined, but it's especially nice place. Really, if you're ever in Czech Republic, go there. It's an amazing place.
Okay. I was there. As a matter of fact, Trotsky is a Czech a regular word, and Trotsky means ruins. Really, translation 1-to-1. Sad part about that the castle is actually ruins. They are ruins right now. So,
but actually, the name was still in place in 15th century, even when the castle was brand new. So it's kind of this little mystery why they called it like that.
And a little side note information for you guys. So Trotsky Castle was finished by the end of the 14th century, so 1390 whatever.
It's really new.
And the game takes place in 1403. So you will have the chance to see a brand new castle in its full pride, up and ready for you to explore. So,
what's happening?
What's happening? The dog is making a fuss. The chickens arrived as well. Good for me. And we will go into stealth mode again. We have to see a little bit what's going on there.
Yeah.
And before, okay, there's some baddies, right? We can see them there already. Get a hold of a weapon. Or we see already the rabbit up there, so they are slightly hearing us. We have to equip the weapon just in case, you never know. And then I will go here, and they will say, what? There's the piece of shit, and he's immediately attacking us.
You're done for.
Am I? Okay, show me.
Fuck this.
Oh.
Yeah, you hit his head, but now his friend.
No.
Oh, you're fucked.
Oh.
Man. Yeah.
I have died in combat.
You did.
So, why did that happen? First of all, because I'm an idiot and I turned my back towards the enemy.
Not a smart thing to do.
Not a smart thing to do. You shouldn't. So, lessons learned, guys, right? The more you know. And but what happened actually? So, one thing you hopefully noticed is that they immediately attacked us, right? So why is that? So those dudes were apparently looking for us, for someone. We don't know that, I tell you already. And they saw their dead friend on that pile that we... our task was to bury him. We said, screw you, we won't. and they saw him and put 1 and 1 together and immediately attacked us.
Yeah,
Okay?
they knew somebody was hiding and they knew somebody killed their friend, so they attacked you immediately. So these are like, there's obviously in the game, there's like a really big choices and contents, and like you know them from other games, you know, big story making events. But there are also these little things, there are very little things that you don't even know you're making a little choice, but it is there. The game is very reactive to what you're doing.
Absolutely. And because of that, I would like to try again and see what happens if we play everything a tiny little bit different.
You have to talk to her first. Yeah.
I'm stupid. I should have made the save after I talked to Bozhena. So let me just skip through that so we have this quickly. She says the same thing as before. After all, it's the same situation as we saw before. By the way, we didn't mention this earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that was already the part in KCD1, but maybe you want to say something about this. Sometimes the perks or the skills that you learn will help you in some dialogues and unlock some special...
Yeah. We actually do have some skills that are especially used in dialogues, a lot of like kind of persuasion or impression or intimidation and stuff like that. But we also want to use your regular skills in dialogues. So sometimes, for example, when she's asking you whether you know something about alchemy, or you can use the skill, and it can, sometimes it gives you like a new option, sometimes it just gives you some new items, or just a reputation like you just did with Bozhena. She really appreciates that you know something about alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
The chicks are there.
But here's, you can see the reputation we mentioned earlier.
Actually, the reputation system, maybe I can give you a little explanation. It also got pretty overhauled in KCD2. So you have a reputation with like specific types of people or some like regions, but now there's a whole thing about how the reputation distributes. So for example, if you have like one house when the owner hates somebody else, if you do something, you're trying to kill the chicken, sorry. But what I was just trying to say is that the reputation now like is slowly distribute about to other factions if they know each other. And sometimes when you do something bad to somebody else might actually appreciate it.
Do you think Bozhena appreciates that I punched her chicken into
I think she doesn't, but
abyss?
she didn't see you. So
Yeah.
you're lucky.
And now...
Maybe just, show the chicken first. Maybe.
Wait a second. Show the chicken first, of course. Chicken.
It's the Y to show the info.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see even just plain food in our game has so many stats. You can, if you want to, you can really delve deep into everything. You don't have to. The game, you kind of understand everything, even if you don't want to really study the systems. But if you want to, and you can check right here the nourishment, the stat.
Yeah.
So cook
and
it.
After my 5-finger death punch, cookie. There you go. Yum. Yummy. Yes.
Yes.
Cooked chicken. Where is it? I want it. Give me the chicken. There you go. Up.
With left?
Yes.
And you can see you actually improve the chicken by cooking it, which is like obvious thing to do. But you can cook food, you can dry it, you can smoke it. For example, I especially recommend drying your food because especially at the beginning you will have some trouble with limited inventory. So drying food makes it lighter. So I suggest doing
Plus,
that.
food can spoil, and dried and smoked and so on will of course...
It will last way longer.
So, back to Dead Bastard.
Yeah.
So, Dead Bastard. First of all, give me your sword. That's always good. And now, looten und leveln, because that's the best thing you can do. Give me all your crap.
And as you can see, we are so used to it, but actually in KCD, everything you see on any NPC is actually on him. So you can always loot anything that's on him. He really changes because you loot his clothes. So yeah, he's now naked, Dead Bastard.
I cannot loot his undies.
Yeah.
So, I took the spade, ace of spades, and now we are taking this body and do what we were told, and that is to go and bury him in the forest. He's pretty heavy, so I can't sprint with him. That's the fastest I can do. The little boar is checking us out suspiciously. I don't like that look in his eyes. It's fierce. Let's rather continue. And we have to go now in this like little swampy area kinda and try and bury that naked bastard. Oh, look, the piggy is following us.
I think he's like fleeing you, actually.
No,
You might be too stinky for him.
no, he wants to create a friendship.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a good point. I might be so stinky that he want to be...
Yeah.
He smells us and says, family. And isn't it great to come home? So you go here.
I think you need to bring him closer.
Do I? No, I don't. I know. So as a matter of fact, let me show it for you guys. I know where to dig, but if you wouldn't, as you can see on the top of the compass, it tells you that somewhere here in this region, which is now I'm covering it unfortunately with this little thing, we have to bury the corpse. So we drop him here, wherever. Have to find, with our nose in the dirt, have to find, start digging. There you go. And Henry is doing his job.
Yeah. And actually, this will make you dirty again. We listen
Dirty Henry.
We actually listen to feedback, so you are like now gain like the dirtiness slower in the open world, but specific interaction with the world will make you dirty very fast. For example, digging graves.
So I can drop him in there, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, isn't ragdoll an amazing thing?
Yeah, always.
Go in. Come on, put your legs in there. A little bit more. Oh no! Oh god, oh no.
I think you can bury him even like this.
Up. Yeah, I think that's good enough, right?
He
Good
doesn't
enough.
deserve anything better.
Good enough.
He tried to attack Hans.
Yeah, he's like an upside down popsicle right now. So, after quite a bit of time, look, and even we cut off his limbs, and the rest is old story. But before we go that way, let's go that way, because let's try and get a tiny little bit closer to Trusky Castle. We can't go too close. The quest requires you to stay here around him, so there's a natural barrier that will tell you, I shouldn't go, and let me just check in which direction.
Yeah, you're in the right direction.
Yeah.
Just follow the stream.
So follow the stream.
And as you can see now, as I was talking about the biomes, obviously you will not go to the deserts and stuff like that. But you can see you're getting closer to the pond, to the little lake. So everything is getting a little more swampier. Yeah, different herbs and different trees are actually growing here, and everything, every tree, every bush, everything you see are real, flora that actually exists, that actually grows in these places, and it's mapped so meticulously that even if you would be like a botanist, you will probably recognize a lot of them.
There was a ornithologist reaching out to us not long ago, complaining that we have I forgot the name of that, like some dows or something in KCD1, because our sound engineers actually, when he goes into the forest to get the sounds right, he's of course taking 21st century sounds, and not 1403 sounds. So
and there were some invasive species of birds that actually weren't there in the 15th century. So we had to and we actually like this kind of feedback, because this is the thing we
of course
love.
We absolutely love that. We love to talk to those people, laugh about it together, and it's just amazing. You know what's also amazing? This view. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It's maybe too good to have our faces there. So let me just put us away for a second. So, isn't that great?
Yeah. I really like, and there's these little nooks and crannies in around the pond that you can find interesting things and points of interest, and it's really, really nice.
And now, Prokop, the chat is asking, can Henry swim? Do you think we should debunk this? Crush their dreams?
Not really. Actually, at the beginning of the game, Henry will be forced to swim in a very a story moment, and it will go so horribly that he will swear he will never swim again. So yeah, sorry, you can't just freely swim anywhere.
Hungry Henry unfortunately cannot swim, guys. Crushed dreams.
Actually, later on, there's one quest when he'll be so drunk that he will swim again, and it will once again end horribly.
There you go. Is he swimming in a bathhouse?
You can consider it swimming, yeah.
Okay. There was actually also some wildlife here, so if you're lucky, then you can find crabs and little animals here as well that you can pick up and eat, right?
Yeah. and you can, once again, you can cook them, smoke them. So yeah, there's like a lot of, there's quite a big variety of animals now, and also very nice new animations of all those animals. So you really feel when you actually met a deer in there, and you saw that he could turn like pretty smoothly and everything. The level of polish in everything. It's the KCD2 is the game we really wanted to make. KCD1 was like I loved the game, and I spent 6 years on the game, but I loved the game. But we were really trying something that was like little above our capability. And now this game is the thing we wanted to make, and we hope that we really honestly hope that in the end you'll appreciate it.
Do you think I should show the community, the chat, what they can also do if they're at beautiful places like this?
Yeah, sure.
But that's kind of a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. It's a little feature.
It's a little feature, but it's kind of a spoiler. Guys, do you want a tiny little spoiler? Like a tiny one. It's not a story spoiler.
They know already.
They know. It's not peeing. That would be very funny. But it's actually finally we have a photo mode in the game, right? So you can watch wonderful Henry staring into distance, but also you can whoop and hide the hints, and you can do the most wonderful
nice
screenshots you want to do. The camera is tied to Henry, so you cannot fly extremely far away. It's also physical, so you cannot go through walls or something like that.
Yes.
But there's a tiny gimmick. Which,
there's a story about it. Try to end the photo mode.
End the photo mode. Guys, take care. What's happening now?
What a view!
Yeah. When the photo mode ends, Henry will comment on what you did in the photo mode. Well, it's a generic. He will basically say like
nice
what of you are nice or something like that. But when we are like trying to implement photo mode, there's like this issue we're trying to solve, because photo mode can be used to kind of cheat when you're trying to stealthily approach something. We didn't want you to like look around the corners, but we didn't want to limit the photo mode too much. So what we did is that when the photo mode ends, Henry will comment, and that little saying of his is actually heard by people in the world. So when you're like really trying to approach somebody in a stealth and you'll cheat in this way, when Henry says nice or what of you, the guards will say, what? What was that? And they'll look at you and go and search that place.
I think that is such a tiny detail, but still, I think KCD is all about the details, and this is like so nerdy and so cool. Really. So when you end the photo mode, Henry barks something, and the others will hear it, so you cannot use it for while stealthing.
Very similar thing, but when you're talking, as you are like making fun of our dirty Henry, now when you're dirty, you actually smell. And when you're like in stealth, people can actually smell you. So when you're like trying to approach the guard to stealth kill him, he can actually smell you and turn around. He has like completely unique dialogues about that. He'll like turn around, he'll just try to sniff like, what the hell is that?
The game's narrative will intertwine with historical events and figures, adding layers of depth to the story. Players can expect to encounter characters based on real historical figures, further enhancing the authenticity of the experience. The narrative depth in the game is set to surpass the original. The game will feature a staggering 11,000 pages of script, equating to the content of about 100 two-hour films or 25 novels. This ambitious script promises a richly layered story with numerous choices and branching paths, ensuring that each player's journey will be unique. The melee combat system will retain its intricate mechanics, requiring players to carefully choose attack angles and master defensive strategies. However, the introduction of early firearms will add a new dimension to combat, allowing for ranged engagements alongside traditional melee weapons like swords and bows. Another major enhancement is the reworking of mounted combat. The sequel promises a more refined and enjoyable horseback combat experience compared to the first game. This update aims to provide a more immersive and dynamic combat experience while riding through the medieval landscape. The leap to next-generation consoles, like the PS5 and Xbox Series X, S promises significant upgrades in graphics and performance. Enhanced visuals, improved textures, and more realistic lighting effects will contribute to a visually stunning experience. For PC players, there will likely be options for high-resolution graphics and advanced settings to fully exploit the capabilities of modern hardware.
Like you and me. You still have a long way to go till your work is done.
O merciful God, be kind and protect us so we don't blow our arses off. Amen.